Guys, I'm overly excited for this job because I am a BMW enthusiast. I've been driving BMWs my whole life, literally starting at 12 when I first bought my E46, doing them all the way up since then, and now I drive a M4 BMW. But this was actually my first car. Well, it's actually my mum's, but then she gave it to me, but then obviously it was passed on years ago. So I'm very interested to be doing this job today. We're gonna be fitting a door lock. This actually has nothing wrong with it, but I know it's worldwide, it's quite a common problem. The door lock stops unlocking from the outside or electronically actuating. So yeah, we're gonna be ripping into this one. It's not too hard of a job, but look, I think it's gonna take about half an hour. I've never done one before, but I'll work it out as I go. And yeah, if you are interested in this product, we do have it online on the website. I'll chuck the link top left of the screen. I'll stick it in the bottom of the video. Click on it. I think we've got them up for 153 bucks, and if you compare that to the price that BMW's got at about $600, and that's not even including bringing it in from Europe, definitely worth checking out our product, I think. Oh yeah, and they come with a 3-year warranty too, so nothing to worry about. Alrighty guys, let's get into the install. Right, so these door cards here are held around by clips along the outside, but they're also held in by a few screws behind this plastic trim. So I'm just going to use my little tool here. I'm going to pop this trim off just by running my hand along. Pops off like that, quite nice. There we go. Obviously you don't want to scratch that or damage that, so put it over in your passenger seat. So the screws that we have to get are here. One down the guts, there's one just there, and of course one down the very end. I've gone ahead and began popping the clips along the bottom of the door trim. Get to about that point, and then obviously we're going to get the Torx bits in the guts of it. Okay, so I've gone ahead and got a T20, and the T20 just goes in there and grabs your little screw. Quite long little suckers. You've got one there. If you can't get it out, just leave it in. One along the back here. And the screws are hard to get out of that area, so just leave them in. At this point, you should now be able to continue running your hand around the edges and popping off the door card from the little clips. Quite sturdy. Don't worry too much. Now before we pull off this door card here, we have to put the window up. Okay, now that your window's up, you can now pull this little cover, which is just held on by clips, up and out. Now there is a little tweeter plugged in the back, but we don't actually have to pull that off. We can just, once we've got it popped off like that, you should now be able to lift the door card. So the door card actually pulls off this direction and then lifts off. At this point, you'll have a few little wires that you're gonna have to unplug from the speaker. So you got one wire here that needs to be unplugged, and you got one out of the speaker. Most of them just pull out. You got one, you can leave the tweeter attached to the door card, and then you pull that one there like that, pops out. Same thing here, pull that out of there like that, and then you can just pull up on that and it'll pop out like so. And the last one is the one that has the little courtesy light, and then you can just grab your whole door card, move the entire thing out of the way. Okay, we're getting closer now. There's your door lock there. You can see that this little locking tab just literally sits there like that, so it can pull out. This can just pop off like this, bring it around and bring it up into the air like that, move it out of the way. Now you got a little plug here. Again, I'm pretty sure these are just maybe a squeeze and pull plug. Yep, and pull out like so. You'll hear the car make a little bit of a noise, that's okay. Now, of course, to get the lock out of the door, you've got to remove your insulation plastic. This is quite good quality plastic and it does a terrific job, so try not to rip any of this. We just want to gently pull it off the door. Just plastic goo. You can just bring it over in this direction. We will need to pull a little bit off this area here just to tuck it through this way. Of course, you can now just bring it way out of the way, and if you can, try and get it to stick up out of your way so it's not you're not in a constant battle. You can even use this wire here, bring it over and just tie it up. Right, so it looks like you got 1, 2, and 3 mounting Torx bit bolts. I'm gonna take out that one first, this one second, and this one third, sticking them on the driver's side footwell. I'm gonna bring my hand around, and I just wanna pop it out of place. Right, so once the door lock is just hanging there like that, the next step is to open this little plastic trim here. Little Allen key, it's a 5/32 inch. Pops in the door, undo that screw, and then this lock barrel now pulls out of the door, like so. Right, so after we undo this lock barrel, the entire inner section of the door handle will come out through the door. If you want to pop around here, I'll show you. This section inside drops down. We just got to work out a way to maneuver it behind the door, the window reg. So I've just unplugged the courtesy light from the door, which is this part here. Obviously we got to pop this part out of the door here like this. Just use a little flathead like I've got, and it just pops out like that. You'll notice it'll now come around. Of course the door lock's still jammed in there, but hopefully we can rotate it. Right, so in order to get this out, you've got to take the cable off so that you can kind of tuck it around and twist it. And to do that, this little part has to come off. And behind, there's a little part that you just plop up like that. And then this should just pop off nice and easy. Pop out like that, pop through this hole, just like so. And we move this part out of our way. So the door lock actuator has to be twisted on the inside of the door, which is a little bit of a drama, but I did eventually get it. So that way it can just come around past the window reg, like so, and puck out just. Right, after a bit of effort, we actually got it. The trickiest part is the fact that this cable attaches to the inside door handle piece. So you got to pop that inside door handle piece off the cable, which allows you to rotate this inside the door and pop it past the window reg without having to take the window regulator out. That's what I was trying to do. So as you can see, we're going to be putting this parts factory equivalent in. This cable has to be swapped over from here to there, but after that's done, we can jam it back in the door and hopefully reassemble it without any further issues. If you are interested in this product, I'm going to chuck the link in the bottom of this video. You can head on to our website. It's free express post Australia wide. You save like $500 coming through us, so definitely worth having a look at. Oh, guys, if you do appreciate this tutorial video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, or at least give us a thumbs up. That way we know it's something you're interested in. We have heaps of tutorials like this. If you're working on your own cars, perhaps doing a side hustle, buying and selling cars, etc., etc., we've got all the parts and we've got all the tutorial videos for you to get the job done yourself. Alrighty, guys, let's chuck it back in. Right, so putting our new one in, we've just swapped over the little cable. Of course, it goes in the same way it came out, so you just tuck it in like that, do a 360. So far it's been much easier to get it back in. Right, in order to get the actuator to twist, you want to have it on that angle in this position, just here, like that. Bang, and twist. Okay, once you've got it to twist, it's now time to bring this little baby girl back. It faces this direction. The cable is around here, through here, around, goes through here and back to there. So it's now time for us to put that cable back in. Bring the cable out. Remember, through this area, tuck that little section there through the hole, which was a bit of a pain to get through, but just do it like that. We go around. As we come in, of course, we've got to bring this unit back in, bringing it around like so. I think it goes in here. Put that in first, a little bushing, just like so, and then we bring this back and this little rod goes through that gap. Of course, on the other side, the little rod has to be pulled down into place, and now you can insert the cable back where it belongs. And you can bring this back up and hopefully tuck it through that gap, bringing it back up into position, which is way at the top of the door. You're gonna lift your door lock at the same time. Perhaps it'd be worth putting a bolt in to support the door lock in its position, making sure you're not tightening down onto any rods or anything you shouldn't be. I might put in the easiest one possible, so maybe this one. Okay, so that's holding there now. You can put the actual door handle mechanism back up where it belongs as well. It's now time to reline up this door handle here. Gotta loosen off this Torx screw. If you loosen it off, this little plastic grommet will lift up. I'll keep bringing it out a bit. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, just pull it out like that and then just tuck it in. And now you can tighten that back up. At that point, you can now put the door handle back in the door. Right, so on the inside of the door, when you're putting a door handle, there's a little catch grab. You see it in there? It's like a little prong like that. And to get the handle here back into it, you gotta pull it forward until it just locks into place where it's like ready for you to put the handle in, etc. So you lever it forward and it'll lock into a little tab, and then that way you can bring your door handle in, slide it in, you see how it's taken up in there, and then at that point you can just see how now that it's in there, it's released it, and now the door handle is back in the way it should be. Right, so something pretty cool we've realized, when you pull this lock barrel out, a little tab on the inside of the door pops down so that as soon as you pull on the door handle, it stays in the locked out position, so you can remove and play around with the door handle. But of course, once the door handle's back in, you can pop your lock barrel back in, and do you see the door handle popped in like that? Now it will never pop out again because it pushes the little tab down, and of course allows your door handle to work normally. Right, we'll now do up the lock barrel. Couple clicks, popping that trim back where it belongs. Of course, we'll now do up our little bolts that hold in our door lock. 1, 2. Remember the last one here, it's kind of like a reinforcement one. Couple clicks. Right, don't forget to plug your little courtesy light back in if you have it. Of course, we just put the that thing into this plug here, just like so. Now we have a few little bits and pieces we need to reinstall before we continue. You've got the locking rod, which just pokes into there like that and just stays upright. Okay, yeah, just tucks over the top like this, and of course that pushes in, it pulls down and pops up like so. Okay, we'll now grab our torch out of the area. And we'll undo our little setup we had to stop it from flopping in front of us. Bring the cabling over, plugging your door lock actuator back into the door. You can hear everything boot back up. Now these cables, they pop through the card, the insulation, and then we just get that all stuck back up. All right, so we're gonna put this door card back on. So come over here and grab your door card. Now, if you haven't got those screws from before, knock them out of your card. Here comes one more. We'll bring our door card over. Remember, we have to do the tweeter first, so you still have your thumping, pumping bass. I'm going to throw the main input into the speaker. We're going to do the master control switch plug, which is down here, pushing it in using the little clip thing to guide it in. You kind of just pop it in like so. We got this last one, just here, which does your LED strip lighting along the edge here, the tube lighting. Remember this part here, but we've also got this here for the courtesy light, which is at the bottom of the door card. Plugging that in. Okay, and then this here pokes into this hole there, just so it's ready to go. And then of course we have our inner door handle rod, which pops up here like so, and literally just put your door handle in position, and it just pops in and tucks in like that. You can see over there, it's actuating the door lock actuator, which is obviously its purpose. We bring it over here. We want to hang the tweeter on the outside of the door, move this rod up into position. You can actually place the rod through the gap, lining up these top clips. You'll find there'll be a spot that they like to sit. You can actually hear it then, so you can just give it a nice hit. You can hear them clip in. Now of course, around the edges can now be done. The tweeter can come up into place. To get that to sit up in there nicely, I'm going to remove the clip from the door. You want to insert it back onto this piece of the door. Jamming it on there will now guide this back where it belongs. It sits there like that. It's now time to put our trim back on. These are just pressure clips. Line them up one by one. Starting from the left side, you can just push it in and you can feel it kind of just gently go into place. Like so. And I think that is all done, guys. Let's just test it out. There you go. Same thing, you can hear it actuating from the inside, so that's literally it. Full door lock assembly removed and reinstalled. So yeah, well done. Guys, if you have appreciated this video today, make sure you give us a thumbs up or even subscribe to the channel if this is the type of thing you're into. Remember, the product is available on our website. I've got it in the bottom of the video, or I'll chuck a link on the top left at the start of the video, which you can go back and have a look at the product. Alrighty guys, my name is Lucas Drabsch. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.